You're joining us on Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in San Diego County today, joined by Esther Sanchez. She is a councilwoman in the city of Oceanside. You may not realize Oceanside is the third largest city in San Diego County, about 175,000 residents.
That's right.
And so let's talk about how council members get elected in Oceanside. Today, how do you get elected?
Well, since 1888, our council members are elected at large. So a lot of money is spent,
right.
Sometimes over $100,000 for like a $27,000
right,
job.
A year job,
yeah.
right.
And we tend to have council members. We don't have term limits, so they tend to be.
Sure.
I'm in my 17th year.
Wow.
So
right.
I've been in income. I just got reelected to my 5th term.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's talk about that election process.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of arguments in favor of maintaining an at-large system.
Right.
Other arguments in favor of moving to districts.
Yes. Yeah.
We know that as a result of several decisions out of the courts, cities, especially the size of Oceanside, 100,000 more, are being, let's say, cajoled into moving to districts.
Yes.
Is that a fair way to say it?
Yeah.
Are you being cajoled right now?
Yes, we are, in fact.
So
yes.
Explain that process.
Okay. Well, the first city that I think 4 years ago was Escondido,
right.
and that was they actually fought it at first and ended up with like over $300,000, and realized they need to settle and buy into this.
Right.
And my understanding is that all 5 council members, including the mayor, actually ended up liking the results in terms of how the districts
right.
were decided, or
Sure, the lines were drawn.
Yes, yes.
The lines were drawn.
So recently we've had San Marcos turned by district last year.
Right.
And then letters have been received or have been sent to cities of Vista, Oceanside, and Carlsbad, as well as Oceanside Unified and Carlsbad Unified and Tri-City.
Right. And the notion is that when electing by districts,
yeah.
it's more likely that someone who is, I don't know if I can use the term, but I'll try, homegrown, will be elected, someone who knows the neighborhood, knows the area.
Right.
Whereas if you have to run at large, it becomes a little more difficult
right.
for certain communities to elect members. That community may not have enough fundraising prowess. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, I mean, Oceanside residents, we had like over 80% turnout in the last election.
Oh, that's impressive.
We usually have, our voters are very active in Oceanside, and sometimes it's difficult because there may be some disconnect. So
right.
there are obviously pros and cons to district elections, but I think the goal is to have fair representation.
Right. The argument in favor of at large is you don't get put into a silo,
right.
that you represent the entire city. I was talking to someone from Alhambra in LA County recently. They do something interesting. You have to run in a district, but the election's at large. Does that make sense? So you run from a community, but everyone votes for you.
Right.
There are some cities where you may run in a district in a primary, but then the top 2 that advance have to run at large. So there are lots of different formulas. A lot of the desire behind the move to districts is to create diversity on councils.
Right.
So Oceanside's about 38% Latino,
yes.
51% diverse. I'm looking at Esther Sanchez. She's the only person of diversity on the council. Right. And you've only had 3.
Second only.
Yeah. And you've had 3 people of Latino descent on your council in your
history. Since 1888,
yeah.
yes.
So talk me through that.
Yeah, I think that when I was elected back in 2000, there were 2 open seats, and there were 15 candidates for 2 open seats. Wow. So I went door to door. I'm from Oceanside. My dad came in the 30s. He was 7. So we have a lot of family, and certainly we've known our neighbors for many years. So I felt like after getting kind of the blessing of my community. Okay, whatever happens, happens. But I think because I know my city so well, and I know the senior communities and the very special communities that we have, South O, the newer communities, Rancho del Oro area, all these areas, I think that because I spend so much time outreaching, I'm elected over and over again. But I don't think it's because I'm a Latina. I think it's because I've established myself as someone who can get the job done.
So, assuming you move to districts,
yes.
and the goal, I mean, the organization that has sent the letter is an advocacy group in favor of Latino representation.
Right.
Does it become clear, are Latinos kind of centralized in certain neighborhoods?
We do have 3 Latino neighborhoods.
Okay.
We do, yes.
But again, that presumes that Latinos vote for Latinos and only Latinos.
No, well, okay, so.
Presumes.
So
yeah.
I think that it's more to the point of the larger community understanding that Latinos want the same thing.
Of course.
They want, you know, public safety. They
Right.
want their kid to be able to get to, you know, go to a good school
Right.
and not be concerned about their safety. They would like to see jobs. They would like to see, you know, quality of life issues, like be able to call public safety and say,
Right.
okay, someone's there within 7 minutes.
Right.
You know, so. I think that looking at our current makeup of the council, and you know,
Yeah.
several of us are, you know, been there for over
Right.
15 years.
Right, right.
I think it's probably a good thing. I think that representation, fair representation, will not just work for the Latino community, and it may just be one district, right? So
Right.
we're talking about fairness for other parts of the community.
Yeah.
So
It's an exciting time indeed.
is,
I
it
mean,
is.
change is inevitable. And speaking of change, let's talk about some change going on in beautiful Oceanside.
Yes.
You're going through a renaissance, although
We
you've always been
are,
wonderful.
we are. Well,
But
you know,
talk to us about what's happening.
Okay, well, as you know, Oceanside, because of the base that
Right.
located there
course.
in the 50s, it's always been kind of a military town. But when back in the late 80s, back in the late 90s, we started talking about, okay, let's be a destination city. What can we do to
Right.
improve tourism, and what can we do to, and basically have more hotels?
Right.
So we started a program, and we started pretty much with this whole idea of having a destination hotel right at the beach in the pier. There's no other beach better than
Right.
Oceanside's, by the way.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because of the recession, some of the things kind of slowed down. No building, the banks are kind of tight-lipped, and then just before the recession started, we started having all these young entrepreneurs coming in to places like in South Oceanside, just downtown,
Right.
and doing these really cool things like farm to table. And then at the same time, our Oceanside Unified School District really bought into zero waste, and so they started having these gardens, community-type gardens
Sure.
at their schools. And so some of these restaurants started pairing with some of the schools and doing this farm to table, and now we're really looking at agritourism. Oceanside has the largest farms in the county, and we're looking to see what can we do to continue to make them economically viable, because water has really hit us hard.
Right. Hopefully, though, with the drought ending, things will be a little easier for our friends who are farming in Oceanside.
Yeah, hopefully, but they're still looking to diversify,
Right.
and we have Beach House Winery that,
I was driving through Oceanside recently.
Right.
I mean, what a wonderful community, and it just seems like there's so much to do. And I've seen that kind of hit vibe. You can feel
Yes.
it. You can feel that something's going on.
Some energy,
There's
some
a renaissance,
excitement.
like you said it.
Yes,
I
it
just
is.
want to thank you so much for joining us. I want you to come back to our program and tell us more about your beautiful
Absolutely, we'd
Oceanside.
love
It
to
really
do
is
that.
a jewel in San Diego County, where we are today. My name is Brad Pomerance. I am so glad you've joined us today. We thank you for watching us on Local Edition.